welcome to Silver Lining Nation. I got Christina here with me. In this episode, it's about recovery. People that have gone through recovery, and we want to emphasize that the importance of having something else after recovery. So what do you do after you leave rehab? So Christina has that experience. So she's going to share with us her experience. So welcome, Christina.
Hi, nice to be here again.
Thank you. Thank you, girl. I feel always blessed when you're on Silver Lining.
Anytime.
So share with us about, your recovery experience, what happened and how you ended up in the 12-step recovery.
Can I say the rehab I went to?
Yeah, you can say the rehab.
Oh, okay.
Just not that other American Airlines word.
Yeah. So, well, first off, I am super blessed to have an amazing family that did an intervention with me to save my life. And my sister kind of spearheaded it all. And so that day when they showed up at my apartment, I was ready, right? Because this is not my first go round of trying to get sober. This is my third.
Okay.
And so I was tired of living the life I was living, and I wanted to do something different. And my sister said, "You're going to rehab today." And I was like, whoa, wait a minute now.
Were you running? You know how they do it on the episodes where they run?
No. I wasn't like intervention. It wasn't like the show. No. I didn't run like that. No, honestly, like when I saw them through my people at the door, I knew the jig was up, and I was ready. I was tired. Like I said, I was tired of living how I was living in the hell and the prison that I had created in my apartment. And now I still try to negotiate. Like, how are we going to do this? Like, who's going to take care of my apartment? Who's going to take care of my cats? And, I did try to negotiate, but we looked up different rehabs around Dallas, and I went to Valley Hope out in Grapevine. And I spent 25 days in Valley Hope, and I absolutely believe that place saved my life, 100%.
Awesome.
Mainly because I wanted it, right?
Okay.
I know. Sorry, I thought I silenced my phone. I wanted to learn whatever that they were teaching me because I wanted something different for my life. And my counselor that I had out there, his name was Ed C. I love Ed C. And anybody that attended Valley Hope and had Ed C, they all have the same thing to say about Ed C. Ed C was amazing. And the thing that he just drilled into my head was, the day that you leave here, get to a meeting. And so I listened to everything that they told me. I listened to get to a meeting, work with another lady in recovery. I made sure I did all those things because I wanted recovery. I wanted to stay sober. And that's how I got into the 12-step program. I just listened to what he told me and to get to a meeting, and that's what I did. And yeah.
How long were you there?
25 days.
Awesome. That's long. That's pretty long.
A long time.
Yeah,
it flew by though.
It did.
It flew by. Yeah.
So a lot of people that go to recovery, they end up living in assisted living. You didn't.
I didn't. I went back home to my apartment, which that was also very scary because that was the place that I drank. Right, I went right back to, like I said, the prison that I created. I went right back to that place. But it's crazy. I don't know if other people in recovery do this, but when I got home, I changed like a lot of stuff. Like I changed my bathroom. Like I changed my shower curtain. I changed my bedding in my bed. I changed the things that were on my walls. I didn't get new furniture, but I moved like furniture around in my apartment because for me mentally, I needed it to look different when I got back.
Yeah.
So I still had the reminders of the apartment because that's where I drank, but I needed it to look different. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you had a month when you came into the 12-step room. You had a month. And did you immediately get a sponsor?
I actually got one when I was in rehab.
Okay. Okay. So you kept the sponsor that you had in rehab.
Yes.
And you used her up until how long?
For about, I was thinking it was 7 or 8 months. And she unfortunately had to reestablish.
Okay.
And so that's when I have the sponsor that I have now. Okay.
So was she, the person that you got as a sponsor, was she a person that, an individual that was in rehab with you?
No. Okay. She was, her home group that she went to brought a meeting to Valley Hope.
Okay. I remember we used to take meetings there. I used to love that.
Yep, Aaron and Quincy and all of them.
That was so much fun when we used to do that.
Yeah.
And I thought they were so strict. So what are your experience with the rules? Tell us some information about the rules that you had to go through being in recovery.
It is, there are a lot of rules in there. And I think that for me, that was what I needed. I needed that structure. I needed somebody to tell me, this is what time we're getting up. This is what time you're eating. This is what time the first lecture is. This is what time, you know, all of those things. It was every day, 7 days a week. There were no days off in rehab. We were always learning about recovery in there all day long. Now we did have fun. We had time where we could go to the gym and we played volleyball and basketball, and, you know, we could go outside and, you know, smoke cigarettes. Picked up smoking in rehab, unfortunately. But yeah, it was very strict, but that's what I needed, because the schedule that I had in rehab helped me maintain discipline when I got out.
Okay. Okay. So do they, you know, really teach you guys that it's so important that when you leave here, like I was asking you earlier about where you need to go? Do they suggest different places, or is that for you to figure out? Because there's a lot of different programs that you can attend instead of going to a 12-step program. How do they handle that?
Well, for Ed C, we had group counseling where it was anywhere from about 5 or 6 women in the same group, and then we had one-on-ones. And so in my one-on-one with Ed, he learned about my life and learned about my job, about my family, about my support system, about what I needed. And then together we decided, okay, it's okay for you to go back to that apartment.
Okay.
I think if my situation would have been different, he might have suggested something different.
So they do work on you one-on-one. So your money is used wisely there.
It was, yes.
Okay. A lot of times people, when they leave, they don't have, a lot of the places that I've heard people attend, they don't have that structure. And when people get out of recovery, the relapse is really high.
Ed told me that it's about 1% to 2% that stay sober of people that go to rehab.
Oh,
it's low. It's very low.
Do you think? And I know I might be asking you this, and you're not. I sound like a lawyer now. You're not a person that might an expert on this. But do you think that recovery, they know this, and this is how they make their money? Or do you think that's just something that happens because
I think it's human nature. I think it's human nature. I think it's a disease.
Okay.
Just as anybody that walks into the rooms, at the 12-step rooms,
same thing.
You have to want it.
Yes.
You have to want it. And you have to go to any lengths, right? And I mean, this is my 3rd time getting sober, trying to get sober. I didn't do the things that I've done this go around. I didn't do it the first 2 times, and I did not stay sober. And so when I was at Valley Hope, there were people that had been in rehab 4 or 5 times. This was their 4th or 5th time being in rehab. And so you get it when you get it.
Yeah, we heard that a lot. And a lot of times I think when it comes to recovery, people go because their families want to put them in recovery. And I think a lot of young people probably are more so than people that are adults and living on their own.
Yeah.
Because they probably don't know what to do with their children.
Yeah, I agree.
And they probably end up in recovery, and it gets to be a vacation. What do you feel about that?
I think, and I've always felt like this, and we talk about it. You can't get sober for someone else. Someone can't force you to get sober if you're not ready. Mm-hmm. Even though the first time I tried to get sober, it was just more of, I think I got a problem, but I wasn't ready to stop drinking.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Let's just find out some information, about this. Yeah. The second time, it was, I say, employer influenced, because my job was on the line, right? But I still wasn't ready to quit drinking. My job was on the line, right? Mm-hmm. Even though I did put in I feel like I put in an effort that second time, because I saw when I worked the 12-step program that it was changing my life, but I still wasn't ready to stop drinking, because I continuously relapsed through that period where I was going to the 12-step meetings and I was doing those things. I still relapsed because I wasn't done. And so this time around, even though my family did, influence me to go to rehab, I was ready.
Yeah.
So
what do you feel about, like myself, I've never gone to rehab. I know that sometimes there are people that I've worked with and they just can't get sober being free without some kind of being supervised. What do you think about when I say there's some people that need rehab and there are some people that don't need rehab? What I'm meaning is, like myself, I got sober without going, but I didn't have to be locked up, so to speak, where I couldn't get to alcohol.
Right.
Do you think that there are some people that actually need recovery or rehab in order for them to get the 12-step or whatever recovery it is that they're trying to achieve, that they need rehab in order to achieve some amount of time for sobriety?
I know for me, and if other people are in this circumstance, for me, I had to be plucked out of my life.
Okay.
I had to.
Okay.
Because the temptation was too great. And I think there's the reason the second time I tried to get sober was when the disease is cunning, baffling, powerful.
Yeah.
And when that power came over me during that time period of, I want to drink, I just went and got a drink, and it was always, sometimes I would string in 30 days and then I would relapse, and then I could get 60 days and then I would relapse. And it was just kind of this yo-yo thing of coming in and out. And, but being plucked from my life and placed somewhere where, like I said, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Now I could have left at any point in time. It wasn't
they
a
don't
lockdown.
Keep you there.
Exactly.
On the against your will.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I could have left at any time.
Okay.
If I wanted to.
Okay.
But just not having the temptation to be able to jump in my car and drive to the liquor store, that's what I needed.
Okay. Did people sneak alcohol and drugs
They tried.
in? So this place is really strict. It was really hard to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, and even, unfortunately, there were some people that were on medications, let's just say.
Yes.
And they were misusing even though their medications were being given to them, they were misusing them.
Okay.
So, cunning, baffling, powerful.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that place, it just seemed like it was really strict when I was visiting.
It was, but like I said, for me, that's what I need. And I think for alcoholics and addicts, our life is chaos while we're in our addiction. And so you need a place, or I always like to speak for myself, I needed a place where I had discipline. I needed a place that showed me structure. that taught
Yes,
me
yes.
that taught me how to live life differently than the
Mhm.
way that I was living.
Yeah, I can totally understand that, because in the program, we before we agree to sponsor people, we ask them, are you willing to text me every day or call me or whatever? Because we're not people that, we don't want you in our business.
Exactly.
You know, what I need to call you every day for?
Right.
That's for what? What do you want? Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I explained to them. I need you to call me or text me every day, simply because of that.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you some kind of structure, and it also lets you know there's a connection with you and I.
And I did that with my sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
When I got out, when I had access to my phone, when I got out of rehab, she didn't answer every day, but I called her, left her a voicemail, and told her about my day, what was going on, and that it helped me connect with her, and it helped me stay accountable.
Yes,
because I knew I was going to make that phone call at the end of the day to follow up with her.
Yeah, because we're sneaky.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're sneaky people, and it's like, I don't want you to know everything. You can know a little but bit. Not everything. Yes. So yeah. So the Recovery Center, Valley Hope, did they also work with your family? Did they have where they had to attend days as well?
Yes. Towards the end, I want to say we had family visits, so the family could come visit us every weekend. There was a day that they could come in and visit, but towards the end, we had a family. I don't know what they call it, family day. Basically, you could bring in family members so they could learn about the disease.
Oh, good.
And one of the counselors in there had a session. My mom and my brother and my sister-in-law came, and they learned about the disease of addiction and how it affects our brain.
Instead of thinking that we just acting like this because we just want to be chaotic.
Exactly. So, like, why can't you just stop? Well, it's tougher. It's more to do with than just being able to put it down.
Yes.
There's something wrong with our brain. And so they learned about that. And then they were also able to just kind of tell me, like my family, they were able to tell me a little bit about how my addiction affected their lives.
Awesome.
So yeah, but it was a controlled session.
Okay.
Where, it didn't get chaotic.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like yelling.
Your counselor was there.
Yeah.
Why? How did that affect you? How did you handle that?
Oh God, I didn't realize that my addiction affected my family the way it did. I thought I was just hurting myself. I thought I drank alone. I isolated when I drank. I didn't hurt anybody. I wasn't borrowing money. I wasn't stealing. I wasn't doing any of those things. I was just drinking. That's what I thought. And I didn't realize the sleepless nights that my mom had.
Yes.
The worry that my brother had of losing his sister. I didn't realize those things. And so it still hurts today, when I think about it, of what I did. But part of my living amends is to be that sister and that daughter today.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't feel it with parents because I don't have parents, but when it comes to my children, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So would you suggest any individual that is struggling, would you suggest an intervention like what you went through? Would you suggest our viewers, the family members, to do something similar to get their loved one into rehab? What would you suggest?
It's a slippery slope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because shortly after I got home from rehab, so I went to rehab in May. That's my sobriety date. I had a cousin that called me telling me he was struggling. And my sister was immediately like, "We're getting him sober." And I was like, "Hold on.
We're doing this."
Yeah. And I was like,
I was successful with someone else.
That was exactly her mindset. And I just was like, pump the brakes. Like, is he ready? That was my first question. Is he ready? Like, this is the first time we're ever hearing him talk about how he's struggling with alcohol.
Yeah.
But she was gung ho and sent him to Valley Hope. He didn't stay sober.
Did he go?
He went.
Okay.
But he didn't stay sober. He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He wasn't done.
And that's the magic word, being ready. When I came in, I wasn't ready, but I kept coming, and eventually it happened.
That's true.
It didn't happen, right off immediately, but eventually I started hearing the message.
Yeah.
It started sticking.
And maybe that could be the case for Rehab, is planting that seed. You never know. People know that there's help out there if they do go, but we hear stories like that all the time of, I just kept coming back.
Yeah. I love that. You and I were talking other day about going and listening to, getting different messages from different organizations other than the 12-step. And I was telling you, when I went to outpatient treatment, I was so excited because they wasn't strict about you having a relapse as they were in the 12-step. In the 12-step room, they let you know, why you keep doing that? What I got was, oh, it's okay. Just tell us when you do it, be honest, and it's okay. So I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I need to stop going to the 12 steps and just come here because I like this.
Yeah, it's easy over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have that similar experience? Have you had any?
Well, I did an IOP, an outpatient, the second time I got sober. And I don't know anybody that relapsed during that. Well, at least while I was there. That was the second time. Because the first time I got sober, I did the IOP and I relapsed. I didn't tell them I relapsed, but I did relapse while I was going through during that 90 days. But IOP was definitely not like the 12-step program at all. No. Very laid back, relaxed.
I learned a lot of things there.
Yes.
I learned about things that you can get to drink before you had a test. I learned a lot of things that that wasn't really good for my program, but I still learned them.
Yeah.
And the people that they used to have family days too, where your
we had a family
would
day in
come.
IOP.
So do you ever go back to Valley Hope, and because you're an alumni there, do you ever go back and share your story? Or
I went back in my first couple of years. I went back several times.
Okay.
My first couple of years in recovery. I haven't been back in the last few years now.
Yeah, because they've gotten really strict with with allowing people. Is that correct?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
To who gets in there.
Yes.
I don't know if you have to get certified or all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. Which I guess it's good and bad. They want to be leery of who brings a message to the people trying to get help in there.
Yes.
So.
And I can understand that. Yeah. Because this is a serious disease.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I think I can be more laid back than I should that's why I have to come to so many meetings, girls, so I can know how serious this disease is and not take my sobriety for granted.
Absolutely. So
you sponsor.
Yes.
And that's your favorite part of recovery?
Some days.
You said some days.
Some days. Some days yes, some days no.
I think that's my favorite part, except the relapse part.
Yeah,
that bothers me more.
That's the hardest.
Yeah.
Sponsoring is amazing, and when you sponsor other women, and all I'm doing again is sharing my experience, strength, and hope, and taking someone through the 12-step program.
Yes.
But as you're moving through that and you see that woman, see the light come on in her eyes, and in a short amount of time, you see their life turn around from absolute chaos, and their skin brightens up, their eyes brighten up, they're happy, they're walking with a little bit of pep in their step. Like, you see that, and it's just, I can't. There's no words for that feeling that you see.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take credit, because that is God. That's not me.
It is.
That is God that's doing that. I'm just a vessel. But it's an amazing part. But yes, relapse is tough. It's so hard when you get that phone call of your sponsee has relapsed. I have one right now that abandoned the program. She was done trying.
She graduated. Yeah. That's scary. Even if it's scary for me, because I share in meetings that my higher power spoon feeds me this program, because it's a lot to get y'all. And I know he knows, and I know that I have this big ego, and if I get it, I'm going to be one of those, because y'all, it ain't nothing y'all can teach me anymore. I got it. And I've graduated, and I'm gone. So I can understand that. But he knows me better than I know myself.
Same.
He just gives me a little bit, and then he might give me some more when he knows that I'm ready and that I can handle it.
Absolutely. So, that's what you and I were talking the other day, and I didn't feel like I had graduated, but I felt stuck. Yeah. About a month ago, and I didn't know what direction to go. And again, good sponsorship.
Yes.
My sponsor just suggested me to attend a different meeting.
Rachel suggesting.
And yes, maybe you should, little sweet Rachel. She suggested me to change it up just this little bit, and God gave me the message that I needed.
Yeah.
And for the last month, I have felt so fulfilled because I changed one thing in my program.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
When that happens?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
I love when I was at meeting earlier, and it was something, and I don't know how many times I've read it, and it's been read in the meetings, but today it clicked, and I go, oh my goodness!
And I heard it differently.
Yes. And girl, I was like, wow. And I had to tell them, I was like, guys, y'all know what? Guess what just happened? And I shared on it, and it was like, it's just amazing when you.
That's what in the other meeting that we were in together. Like, I was talking about those little baby spiritual awakenings that you have.
And those are the nuggets.
Yes.
Those are the ones that. Man, we say in here, don't leave before you see the miracles.
The miracle happen, yeah.
It's like, once that happens, it's like, you get that goosebumps. Yes. And it's like, that's what they're talking about. And that's what I get out of here. And seeing people like you, Christina, I remember when you came in, and I had the opportunity to see you grow. And I'm always telling you, growing up on me. But I get to see that, and that's my blessing. You
were one of the first people that told me that I looked differently after a few months. That when I was like,
what you talking about?
I see myself in the mirror every day. What are you talking? But you saw that sparkle in my eye. You saw that awakening happening in me before I even saw it in myself.
And then you start working with others. And I remember it was like, was it 4 or 5 of you guys used to sit at that table? Yeah. And now it's 2 of you guys left. You and Kelly.
I saw her at the meeting the other day.
Yeah. You and Kelly. Kelly's still rolling. Yeah, it's the 2 of. I mean, y'all always used to be at that table.
Of the litter of the 2017 litter, we're the only 2 left. I mean, and that just goes to show you that small percentage that I told you about of the ones that stay and stay sober.
Yes, so. And I think with I love doing Silver Lining Nation, y'all, because I want to give people a different view of what an addict and an alcoholic look like. And I mean, look at us, guys. Do we look like addicts and alcoholics? Probably.
You didn't see me 7 years ago. Okay.
Speak for yourself. But I just wanted people to know this. When you say you're an alcoholic, or especially if you say you're an addict, people look in there like they want to pull away from you, you know. And I wanted to paint a different picture to show that there is hope and we do recover. As long we don't recover. When I say recover, we recover by constantly working on our addiction. We have to constantly be in the middle of this program. At least I have to be in the middle. And as long as I'm in the middle, y'all, I think I have a chance. And maybe we can be an example to show that it's possible, and to show families that don't give up on your loved ones, because it's worth, you know, they're worth fighting for. And sometimes we're just doing the best we can with what situation we're in. We're not bad people. We just make bad decisions.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we make bad decisions, and we're not trying to hurt people that we love.
Yeah.
But this disease, y'all, is so powerful.
Yeah.
What do you think, Christine?
Yeah, this, like, the pain that I caused my family, it absolutely wasn't intentional, you know. And I actually, I have a cousin that she's older than me, and she's been struggling with this disease far longer than I have. I mean, she's probably about 12 years older than me, and she's been struggling with addiction for over 40 years.
A long time.
She started with drugs and alcohol when she was 16, and she's in her mid to late 50s right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's still struggling. She just got out of rehab about a month ago, again. And so it just goes to show it doesn't matter. She keeps trying.
Yeah.
She's still alive. She keeps trying. But this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. You don't know, and you don't get it till you get it. I personally don't know what's holding her back from staying sober. Yeah. She's the only one that knows that. But
and she probably don't even know it.
She might
you
not.
know, her mind is probably so fouled up, and this disease said, this is the only thing that can help you. You need me. So that's what my disease was doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, my disease during that time frame when I felt stuck over that last month, over a month ago, believe me, that drink was like, my disease was like, hey girl,
you close.
Hey girl, how you doing?
Close.
Yeah,
how you doing?
And I mean, so much to the point that I had drinking dreams during that time. That's how powerful my disease was trying to get me in my subconscious because I was stuck. But I knew I didn't want that. Yes. I didn't want to go back there, so I had to do something differently. What can I do differently? Because I don't want to go back to that life, y'all. It's just, it was hell. It was pure hell. I don't. Yeah. You say this all the time. It's easier to stay sober than get sober.
Yes, it is. A lot. A lot. Yeah. I mean, my disease is over there doing push-ups, saying that she's going to come back, and it's getting stronger. And if I do go back out, it's going to be on. And that's why I try to do as much as I can to stay ahead of it.
Absolutely.
Because it's fast. Just like that, I can lose everything that I've worked all these years
We've seen
for.
It.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen.
Yes, most definitely. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Christina, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You always have my back, and I just want you to know how
You
much.
always have my back too.
Thank you, baby girl.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for always. You never said no, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Guys, I hope you've enjoyed our chat as much as I have. And remember, we love you here at Silver Lining Nation. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you soon.